Welcome again to our channel, and today we'll be talking about investing in housing in France. So welcome Joki, Caro, and Diana. We are on Zoom, and also we are live on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. So those who are live on our YouTube channel, if you want to join the meeting, you can go to Kifaransa.fr/Zoom. There's a link to join the Zoom. If you want to join the Zoom, you can go to Kifaransa.fr/Zoom. So today we'll be talking about investing in housing in France. We have many people who are asking about how to invest in housing in France. You know that when you are staying in France, we pay rent, we pay for years and years, and the end, the house is not yours. So that's what we had done last time with Diana. And we saw that you can invest in your own house instead of paying rent. So our last program was about how to buy land, how to buy not land, but how to buy a house in France, so that you don't lose your money just for rent, for rental. Money for rental, you can recover it in the future. So after that, many people were asking how they can buy, how they can invest. If I can say, how they can invest in housing in France. So Diana will be telling us more about how to invest in housing in France. If you have questions, you can write them on the chat. Those who are on YouTube, you can write them on YouTube. I have Caro will be assisting me for the questions to understand how this works. So don't hesitate. Those who are on Zoom, you can ask, just raise your question, your hand on your Zoom, and then we can you can ask your question directly to Diana. So Diana, I hope after you're going to share your contacts so that people who are interested can come directly to you.
Okay.
If you don't get the contacts, you can contact me or Caro. Caro will give you also the contacts for Diana. So welcome. I've seen this already. We have on Zoom, we have Joki and Nancy. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. So maybe I don't know, Diana, whether you have your mic is on.
My screen. Okay. You can hear me?
Yes, but from far.
From far.
Maybe you can don't see. I don't know. Maybe you can put more volume on your, so that we can hear you.
It's
Caro
actually
is there. Your mic is off also. After you can put it on when it comes to question answer.
okay. Let me see. Okay. What about right now? Can you hear me now?
It's better like that. It's
better.
like that.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
So Diana,
Yes.
Since last time we did our meeting,
Yes.
We talked about buying your own land, buying your own, not land. Why am I talking about land? I think I should buy a land. buying your own house in France instead of renting.
Yes.
Because the rent you give is the equivalent of the amount of money you are going to give back.
Yes.
So this time we'd like you to maybe to help Kenyans who are living in France, or maybe even Kenyans who are outside France and they'd like to invest in housing in France, how to go about.
Okay.
So I hope you have prepared something to explain to them, maybe the different, either you invest as a person or you invest as a company. And I hope you have prepared the different types of companies or groups which Kenyans can, which people can join, can start investing in. We know in Kenya, we are here in France, and we know in Kenya sometimes it's a bit of paperwork So here it's not that complicated. So I hope you're going to give a simple way. Those more interested more will come to you and explain to you. Maybe we just wait for some more minutes. I can see more people are joining on Zoom. Maybe wait just 2 minutes, just 2 minutes to see whether there are more people who are coming. Welcome, Joki, Nancy, Matt, Mary, Abigail on Zoom. Those who are on YouTube, if you want to join the Zoom meeting, you can go to get the link. You go to Kifaransa.fr. No, Kifaransa.fr/Zoom. There you are going to get the link direct to Zoom. So as we wait, let me check on the other side. Hope those who are on Zoom, you will prepare your questions if you already know how to invest, or listen to what Diana will tell us, and then from there also you can ask questions. We want more Kenyans to be empowered. We want more Kenyans to be empowered in France. So I hope we'll have more people, more Kenyans being empowered. There's somebody who has joined. Diana, maybe you can start. I'll just give you the floor to start. Maybe before you start, maybe Caro has something to say, and then if you have something to say, Caro, and then Diana will take over. You can invite. You have nothing to say, Caro? Sema watu wakusikie.
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi, Diana.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome to the meeting. We hope to progress and have many Kenyans invest here. So the floor is yours, Diana.
Thank you.
We want to buy houses. Tell us how to do it with our little money.
Very important. Yes.
Yes.
Indeed. All right. Then I can share my screen now, Noah?
Yes, you can share your screen.
Okay.
You can share your screen.
All right.
Alafu ongea kwa sauti kidogo so that people can hear you.
Okay. Tumeshakula. We have already eaten, so I think we have a lot of energy.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, can you see anything on my screen?
Oh, from my side, I have nothing.
Nothing. Okay, let me try. Again. I'm loading it. What about now?
Still not.
Not yet.
But I've already. Oh, not yet. But have you given me the
yes.
opportunity?
You are able to share, Diana.
But I've already put on my screen actually.
Check on. Maybe I try to give you more powers on Zoom.
Yeah, give me more powers.
But normally with what I've given you, you should be able to share. Check, maybe you have another another window open somewhere with Zoom, like now I can see it. We can see it.
You can see it? Okay. All right. So,
it's just starting.
All right, great.
It's just starting, so continue.
Okay, I think I'm good to go. All right. So, it's okay, Noah?
It's okay now.
Okay, great.
Yeah, now go ahead.
All right. So thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. It's a great pleasure to be with you this wonderful afternoon. I hope you had a great morning, a great Saturday yesterday. For me, it was a very good. It has been a good weekend. So I'm going to introduce myself, and then I'm going to introduce who I represent, and then I'm going to go directly into the topic, today's topic. So I'm Diana Joroj. I'm a real estate advisor. I work with Hosanna Finance. Hosanna Finance is a real estate firm that is based on 5 years experience in real estate. We focus on servicing international profiles, either expatriates or non-residents. And here I'm talking about residents as well. And our services include, I just go to the next page here. I think there is a bump. Okay, great. So we offer real estate solutions in the following areas. We have optimization of taxes. For those who wish to reduce or to eliminate their taxes, we enable them to do this by using the tax incentives for those living in France. So it is good for you to note that if you're living in France, there's a possibility to reduce your taxes or to eliminate your taxes by using different schemes that are available for those living in France. And then through strategic real estate investment, we accompany those who wish to buy residential or rental property, and this includes the search for the property until the client gets the keys to their home. So we offer a global accompaniment from the beginning to the very end. And so if a client has any questions concerning the contracts, concerning the procedure, we are there to accompany the client until they get the keys to their home. Through brokerage services, we enable our clients to get the financial aspect for their property. That means the loan, and also we help to negotiate the interest rate for the loan of the client. And for those who wish to buy residential or rental property, but they cannot because of financial challenges, we advise them on how they can save so that they can be able to achieve the objective of buying a home in France. So basically, that is what we enable our clients to do, the services that we offer in Hosanna Finance. In the next few years, our vision is to expand the scope of activity to include rental management, interior design, and other aspects of real estate. So it's a growing company. Concerning that introduction, I'm going to be going directly to the topic of today, which is to invest in rental properties. This is a major area that we concentrate on for those who wish to buy property in France. So as I've said, I'm going to concentrate on the people that are in France, and those that are not living in France, if they happen to join us, because I know the video will go online, you can contact me so that I can introduce to you other schemes that you can use as a non-resident. So we're going to look at the summary of today's topic. So the topic is buying, the summary of today is going to be buying a second home. We're going to look at that. Secondly, using the penal law, investing in a non-professional furnished property, investing by using professional furnished property, joint ownership of property, that is by using SAI, which is a Société Civile Immobilier in French, and using a scheme called Sonsi Bova, and whom it concerns. And so we go directly to the objective of buying a rent to invest property. So what would be the objective of a person who wants to rent or to buy a rental property? So your objective to buy a rental investment could be you want to develop your assets over the long term. Of course, one of the ways to invest your assets, to develop your assets over the long term, is to buy several kinds of property. You can decide to buy a residential home or a rental property. And then, of course, if you begin with buying just one property, then you can accumulate your properties over a long period of time. Secondly, you might want to generate additional income because, of course, when you buy a rental property, the objective is to generate additional income. If you want, for example, you want to prepare for retirement or just for the purposes of having a complementary revenue, which is one of the ways that you can generate additional income. Thirdly, you might want to take advantage of the leverage offered by a bank loan. By this, I mean you can get a credit from the bank, you get a loan from the bank. For example, you want to buy a property costing 100,000, they give you 100,000, and that means you're able to own a property without using your own money, by using borrowed money. And of course, as you continue to repay the loan, the property becomes part of your asset. And that way you're able to grow your properties by using the leverage offered by the bank loan. The other point, you might want to benefit from tax advantages through different schemes. It is unknown to many because there are many people who pay their taxes, but they do not know that they can reduce or eliminate altogether paying taxes by using different schemes that are there specifically for those who pay a lot of taxes. So why pay taxes when you have an opportunity to buy a property and eliminate your taxes? So it's good for you to know. Fifthly, you might want to add a complementary revenue for retirement, because as you know, when you retire, and all of us are going to retire one day, is that there's a tendency of the income reducing. And if you had invested in a rental property, then you know you have an additional income at the end of the day that would help you. For example, if you have children that are in school that you need to pay school fees for, if you have other expenses that will come up after retirement, and to enable you also to maintain the standard of living that you used to have when you are working. So it's a very good way also of preparing for retirement. You could also have another objective that is not in this list, and which is a good objective. And so by defining your investment objective, you are able to know exactly what kind of property you want to buy. Either you want to buy your residential or rental investment, but defining your objective is paramount to be able to achieve your goal. Now that you have looked at the objective of a buy-to-rent investment, we are going to look at the first point, which is buying a second home. When you're buying a second home, of course, when you want to buy a second home, it's because you already have your primary, residence. A definition of a second home is a residence that you intend to occupy for part of the year, in addition to a primary residence. So a second home is just it's on top of what you already have with a primary residence. You can use it for vacation, a place you can use for your friends. You can decide to rent it out. You can decide to use it for so many other purposes as a second home. So that could be one of the objectives, to buy to rent investment, to invest in a second home. As I've said, the advantages, of course, are the income potential, having long-term profits, having tax advantages, more quality time with family. If you want to have friends in coming to your second home, you can exchange your home from one place to another. If especially during the holidays, you can decide to buy. It's one of the ways to diversify your investments. You can decide to buy different kind of rental products with rental schemes, notably the commercial investments, and also to purchase your retirement home. That is one of the ways that you can get it's one of the ways that you can have a second home, having to purchase for your retirement, and that would be a very good way to have a second home. That means even if you're not really using it today for another purpose, you can rent it out, and then in the future when you're ready for retirement, you have somewhere else to go to, near the sea or near the ocean where there's the sun. It's your choice. Secondly, I'll go to the second point, which is investing by using the penal law. The penal law is a common way that people invest in France for those who wish to optimize their taxes. The definition is the penal system is a rental investment mechanism to obtain a tax reduction. If you want to reduce your income tax while making a rental property investment, this is the best way also that you can use to reduce your taxes. So this system operates by acquiring property as part of the penal law, and then you benefit from income tax deduction. The only condition is that you have to rent out the property for about 6 years. And then if you want to have an extended period of time where you can have the tax reduction, then you can extend it to 9 years or to 12 years, which is the maximum period of time. And then after the 12 years, you have the possibility of obtaining a tax reduction of about 63,000 euros. So the first 6 years, you get a 12% reduction, and then up to 9 years, you get an 18% reduction, and the up to 12 years, you get a 21% reduction. So minimum is 6 years. It's good for you to note that. So who can benefit from the penal law? Of course, if you want to benefit from this law, you have to be a tax resident. That means you have to be living in France and you have to be paying your taxes in France. And then you have to be paying your taxes up to more than at least 2,500 euros. So from 2,500 euros, you can use the penal law to reduce your taxes. You are a good candidate for the law. So this concerns taxpayers who buy until December 31st, 2021. And I would like to say that this law is coming to an end very soon. So there is not much time for those who want to use this law. You have until 31st of December to use the law if you want to reduce or to eliminate your taxes. It concerns, of course, the new homes or homes that are in the future state of completion. You know, in France, when you're buying a new property, normally it is based on a plan. You buy it on an architectural plan, and then you wait for a year or two for the completion to be done, so that you can have the keys for the property. So it concerns new home or new homes in France, housing that have been built, that have been recently built, or old housing undergoing major works and being transformed into new housing, or housing which isn't in keeping with the standards of property and goes through major rehabilitation work. So a housing that is going through major repairs, major transformation can also use the penal law. But for individuals who just want to buy a studio, a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom house that is using the penal law, then you are able to do it when you invest in a new property. So the other one is number 3, investing in non-professional furnished rental. When you talk about a non-professional furnished rental, it means that it basically means that you buy a property, you buy a studio, for example, a 1-bedroom or a studio, a 3-bedroom, whatever you're going to buy, but you make sure that it is furnished. When I talk about furnished, I mean that it should be able to accommodate a person at least with the basic needs. You should have the minimal in that house, like a fridge, a microwave, bedding, anything that can enable a person to live comfortably. So it is called a furnished rental. And then the advantage of this is that you can use it to reduce your taxes. So you can see that the status allows you to benefit from a tax system that is related to rental of unfurnished, furnished property. So one of the ways that you can benefit also from this non-professional furnished rental apartment is to make sure that you don't go, that the rate of income in a year does not go beyond 23,000 euros. So when you use the non-professional furnished rental method to buy a property, you should not go beyond 23,000 euros in a year. This is because once you go beyond 23,000 euros in a year, that is in rental income, then you cannot remain in this status. You have to change the status to go to the status of professional furnished rental, which is less interesting for many people. So just to explain a little bit, there are 2 types of furnished rentals. There are traditional furnished rentals That means furnished apartments, um, the service quarters that you might have, but it is rare. They are subjected to conditions in high demand areas. There are also rentals of service apartments or housing, that like retirement homes, housing residence, student housing, senior living facilities. Okay, they're less common, but they're there. So it is one of the ways that you can reduce your taxes if you buy this kind of apartment or housing. So to come to the next point, which is number 4, professional furnished rental. This, for you to come to this status, you cannot come to this status automatically. As I said, you have to start with the non-professional furnished rental, and then if you go beyond 23,000 euros in a year, then you have to change your status to this status of professional furnished rental. So that is a major difference between the two. It is also concerned with the retirement homes, touristic residence, student housing, and senior living facilities. And normally, these kind of facilities or this kind of homes, it is very simple homes, like just one room, or 2 rooms, and it is just also seasonal. There are properties that need to be that you need just to have a contract of 9 months or 11 months, so that you have to write another contract for the next person that will come the following year, or you have to write a short contract for the person who's living there at least for 9 months, and if they want to renew the contract, then you have to write for another 9 months. So the person cannot stay in this facility consistently for 3 years without not having to move out. So the contract has to be at least of 9 months. That is the constraint of this kind of facility. So we're going to look at the next one, which is my computer has bugged. Okay, so we're going to look at joint ownership of property. There is also another way of owning property in France, but people do not know about it. You can own property by using other methods like SAE, which is Société Civile Immobilier. Actually, it is a form of a company that is based in France, that you create here in France, and then you use it to buy and to manage property. That means family members, friends can come together and just decide to create a company so that they can be able to buy more property as they want. The only condition is that, of course, you have to be in agreement with each other, because you cannot work with people that you are not in agreement with. So it's good to have people that are interested in this kind of project, and then you know that you're going to share the cost of the repayment of the property. And so the SAE is one of the ways that people can come together as a group of friends or family members to buy a property here in France. It facilitates the buying of the property, because they don't ask you for so much money to buy a property. Then I don't know what is happening here, because it seems there is a bug. Just a minute. I will try to go to the next page. So the benefits of using the Société Civile Immobilier, the benefits of the SAE, is to facilitate purchase of the property by multiple often unrelated persons, to provide stability and continuity in the ownership and management of family property if you do it as family members, to facilitate the transfer and ownership of property, especially, for example, for parents who wish to buy property and leave an inheritance for their children. They might want to buy a property by using the ability to access a loan, and then transfer the ownership of the property to their children, to avoid the constraints of the French inheritance laws, to create tax advantages. There are also tax advantages that are related to the SAE, to protect the family home from business creditors. Of course, if you buy a property using the SAE and you live in that property, and you're having an office in that in your property, then the business creditors cannot come and claim the property. So it's one of the ways that people protect themselves when they want to buy a property by using the Société Civile Immobilier, which is the SAE. Another one is the Sonsi-Bouvard system. It is one of the ways that you can invest. You can invest in a rental property. That means it's a way that you can obtain a tax reduction. It's a rental investment system which was created in 2012 with the purpose of enabling people to have tax reduction. The tax reduction is equal to 11%, including the tax of the purchase or the cost price over the 9 years. So the difference between the Sonsi-Bouvard and the LMNP is that, of course, with the LMNP you have to do it for no, I meant to say the Pinel. The minimum for the Pinel would be 6 years. For the rest, for the LMNP, that means for the furnished property or unfurnished property, then you have to use at least you have to rent a property for at least a period of 9 years, and it is limited to 300,000 euros of investment per year. So if you want to reduce your taxes by using this kind of a method, the Sonsi-Bouvard system, then you have to buy a property that does not go beyond 300,000 euros. But in case you bought a property, for example, of 450 euros, or 450,000 euros, and you wanted to benefit from the Sonsi-Bouvard system, then they're going to take in consideration the amount that will go up to 300,000, and that you can get your tax reduction. So one of the benefits of using this system is that you are able to recover your VAT, that is 20% of the VAT of the purchase price. And another advantage of using the Sonsi-Bouvard system is that you can specifically invest in a property that is in a social or medical social establishment which accommodates elderly or disabled adults. It could be just a room, an establishment providing long-term care for sick people, a residence with services for the elderly or the disabled, a set of accommodation managed by a social or medical social cooperation group, or a residence with services for students. So this is also one of the ways that people have to reduce their taxes, because they can invest. You can buy even two properties in the same year, not going beyond 300,000, and you can benefit from this law of tax deduction. Yeah, I'm coming to the end of the presentation, and I just want to say that I've just discussed these 6 points, these 6 schemes of investing, but it is more detailed than this. There is more information behind each and every point that I've discussed tonight, this afternoon. So if you have any questions, if you are interested in a specific way of reducing your taxes, you can contact me afterwards so that you can book an appointment, and then we can discuss it in detail. Do you have any questions? Although I know there are people that have just joined us in the middle of the discussion. I think they might not have had the privilege to hear us right from the beginning. But are there any questions?
Okay. So just before the questions, Diana.
Yes.
Maybe so. Just I want to thank you for presenting for the presentation, and hope people who are here will benefit from what you have said. So those who have questions, if you have questions on these things, maybe how to go about, you can ask them here, because maybe if you have a question, somebody else in the group here might be having the same question. So don't hesitate to put on your mic and ask a question if you have a question, or just write it. Those on YouTube, you can do the same. There is Carol who has some questions. Maybe Carol, can you ask directly the questions? I think, Carol, please, if you can ask the questions.
Okay. The first question, Diana, is when someone buys a home, they have been financed by the bank, obviously.
Yes.
And they decide to buy a second home before completing payments of the first home.
Yes.
Is that allowed, or do they have to finish payments of the first home before embarking on buying another one?
No, it is allowed. It is allowed. It depends with the capacity of the person to borrow, to make another finance, to make another loan, actually. Because if a person, for example, has the person is already paying a loan, and then after a specific period of time, like 2 or 3 years, you can start buying another project. You can buy another rental property, or actually it's a rental property, because you cannot have two primary residences. So if your first property was a primary residence, then your second property, of course, will be a rental investment. And so for the rental investment, you can be able to do it, but after 2 or 3 years, you have to start by repaying the loan, and then after a certain period of time, you can be able to buy the next investment. But you also you have to have the capacity to be able to borrow another amount of money, because the rest, they call it the rest have vivre, the rest of the amount that you be left with to manage your household is not enough, then they cannot accept. If you're earning too little, they will not accept. But if you have sufficient funds, why not? It is possible.
The other question is to be part of an SCE.
Yes.
What are the conditions for the individuals, or anyone can be part of an SCE, whether they are a student, unemployed?
Actually, you have to have a job. Because they ask you for the documents when you go to the bank. They'll ask the people that are going to do the SAE, to create the SAE. They require the documents of each and every person. So that means everyone will have to give their contract of work. So you have to be employed. Everyone have to have their all the documents necessary for the investment of a project. So you cannot be unemployed and you want to buy a property in France, unless you have an inheritance from somewhere that is going to help you to do that. Now, when you're a student, you need to change your status to become they're called salarié, a resident. If not, then maybe you have to have support from your parent, who's going to give you a certain amount of money to be able to buy here in France.
Just
the conditions go for just like anyone that is going to buy a property in France.
Yes, maybe add something on SAE.
Yes.
SAE, normally, if you want to join, like Caro is asking, if you want to join an existing SAE, then you have to accept their conditions. If you are forming the SAE, you can form it provided even if you are not working, because the bank will be renting money to the SAE, not to a particular person. You can compare the SAE with what we have, this format of business in Kenya, like SACCO. When you are joining a SACCO, which is already created, then you have to accept the conditions they have. They'll tell you have to have this, you have to have this. For the SAE in France, you can, when you are creating, if you are among those who are creating, you can fix your own rules inside there. But all of it's governed by the government. It's the government laws which govern like that. The same exactly is the same thing like what SACCO happens in Kenya, because it's governed by the ministry, by not the ministry. Yeah, there's the Minister of Development. Yes. So it's almost the same thing. So it depends on, if you want to join an SAE, it depends on the rules which have been fixed in that SAE. Different SAEs will have different objectives and different rules. So it depends on that. But globally, anybody can join an SAE. That's why for Kenyans who are living in France, if you want to buy something to invest in housing, either you do it alone, or either you come up with a group of people friends who have the same objective, who have the spirit of investment, and then there you create your own SAE. And I think there, maybe Diana, if there are people who want to do that, you can help them to show them how to go about the procedure. It's not very complicated.
No,
So,
it's not complicated.
Yeah, and once you have created your own SAE with your own rules, then there you can now start buying. It's not very.
Yeah. So the distinction here is that if you want to join an SAE that has already been created, then you can go ahead and join if you're not a student. If you're a student or you have an associate. If you're going to be at the basic level of creating the SAE, then the documents that will be required at the bank will be that's the bank asks normally for the participants to give the documents that they are going to use for the creation of the SAE. They have used for the creation of the SAE.
Yes.
What was the other question?
Carol?
No, that's all for my side.
Anybody else with another question? Or
The other question on YouTube, I think Diana had covered.
Okay.
Someone is asking, as a Kenyan living in France, do you have a requirement? And do you need to declare taxes? I think Diana had covered that, but maybe Diana can just repeat again.
You have said, come again, please.
There's Ange Winu who is asking, as a Kenyan living in France, do you have a requirement?
Yes.
And do you need to declare taxes?
Oh, yes. Of course, if you're living in France, you have to declare your taxes. There are many ways of, there are people who actually fear to declare taxes, but there are also ways to have the tax reduction, but if you're living in France and you're working, even if you're not working, you need to declare your taxes. If you're not working, you declare 0. And if you're working, you declare how much you have earned in the year.
Maybe I can add. I think also there, what Ange was asking is if you invest in France.
Yes.
I think that is the question, if I'm not wrong.
If you invest in France, you pay taxes.
Yeah, for taxes. Yeah, you should declare taxes normally on that. But normally, when you are renting, the format you take either a loan or through SAE, you can reduce all these expenses, and you might end up not paying any taxes.
Yes,
normally. Yeah. Maybe Ange, if you need more information after, you can contact Diana. There's a phone number you can, or email. Maybe she can assist you. But yeah, sure, you have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
I think there's Anthony is saying poa sana, naona hiyo SAE ni poa. Yes, Anthony, don't hesitate. If you have friends who would like to invest in housing in France, just know that it's possible, alone or in a group. So it's just to come up with some friends if you want to do it in SAE. And the good thing with that, you're going to pull all your resources together, and there you can buy from there. Where Diana is saying they are going to ask you for where you work, all this is just on the bank side. But if you can finance that money by yourself, nobody is going to ask you anything, because the bank will ask you only if you want to take credit with them. But if you want to do it, you have the cash yourself, nobody will ask you anything. You just go invest. In Kama Kenya, most people buy cash. So yeah, you can, if you have that capacity and you have a group of people and you have some cash, you just go and buy, and there you start getting you start investing already. Later, either you get the returns immediately, or maybe in the once you have finished paying the loan, if you are taking a loan. If
another question, Diana, you had mentioned that you get tax reductions
if
you're buying a relatively new home, or you're renovating an old home.
Yes.
What if you buy a home and you decide to do some renovations or adjustments on the design of that house? Does that apply?
No, it doesn't apply. Like if you buy an old house and you just want to repair to make it. No, it does not apply. When I'm talking about the old homes, I'm talking about they even pull down their old homes to create a new format actually. But it is not like when you buy a rental property and you just destroy a wall and then you maneuver it so that you can have a bigger space. Not that kind of. I'm not talking about that kind of repairs. Do you understand what I've said? So I think that it is not, you cannot buy an old house and then you pull down one side of the of the roof or one side of the wall to make to create a bigger space, and then you say you want to benefit from the penal. It is actually concerned with major works. You know? Sometimes you have to pull it down. You have to pull down an old house and then try to structure it again completely right from the start. So that is where you can receive, you can have a benefit from the penal.
So then you would advise building a new home other than buying if you want to benefit from tax reductions.
Yes, you can decide to buy, to construct a new home, or to buy a new home that is in construction already. Buying off-plan homes.
Okay.
Yes. Because there are so many off-plan homes, and they are there because they want people to benefit from the tax advantage that comes from the penal law.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I didn't hear. Is there a limit of how much? Like now, the limit, like the ones you have mentioned about to get a tax reduction on rental, maximum 300,000. On
if you use the Sonti-Bouvard law,
yeah.
Yes, you can have if a rental investment is going to be going for up to 300,000 in a year, you can have a tax reduction using the Sonti-Bouvard up to 30,000 euros.
Yeah. Okay. Now
for 30,000 euros for the Sonti-Bouvard. If you're using now the penal law.
Okay. Yeah.
For a period of 12 years, you can have a tax reduction of 63,000 euros. So it depends on the kind of law that you're going to use.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we have another question. I think this is for maybe for everybody who has some information. There's Matt who is asking, do you have existing reliable and operational SAE? You can recommend one to join. Matt, it's not SAE as in E in English, is SCE.
SCI.
SCI, Société Civile Immobilier.
In English, SCI, not SCE.
Yeah, and the initials
the initials are SCI.
Yeah. So to answer Matt's question, do we have existing reliable operational SAEs which we can recommend one to join? There are many SAEs which are operating in France, and for Kenyans, we have Kenyans already who have SAEs. Maybe after it's to contact them directly to see if they accept new members. There is also the what we call it. Matt, I can also advise you to join the Kenya France Diaspora Circle, which I think in the future they'll be having a project on this subject. So I think that those would be the best I can recommend you for the moment, because Kenya France Circle is operating already in France, and their project, maybe we can one day, maybe in the future, they'll be doing this type of investment. So you can maybe check on their website, kifaransa.fr, and contact them directly from there, and maybe you can get more information on that. if I'm not wrong, maybe soon they'll be starting a similar project. So those who want to invest in housing through SAE, you can do it through the SACCO, of which the SACCO is registered in Kenya, but they are seeing on how they can invest here in France through this system. So you can join them and maybe do some investment. Unless Diana, you have some SAE which accept people, because I say it's a bit particular type of investment. It's more of, like Diana was saying,
Yeah.
between family and friends, or
Yeah.
people who have the same objective. So hautapata ati everybody, you have many people doing such things, and if they do, they don't accept anybody.
Yeah.
So the best is when people who are motivated to do. Either you create with friends who they are at the same time reliable, what you are saying, or you join people who have similar objectives like you. So like the example of I was saying of the circle. So Diana, I don't know whether you have SAEs which accept people from outside, or people they don't know. I don't think they
No, I do not have a. No, I don't have those kind of
SA.
essay.
To join an SA,
Yeah,
SA is like a private club. I can't say
exactly.
not
Yeah,
everybody will join. So, but you can do it if you have similar objectives with friends who have similar objectives.
yeah,
That's why
and
I'm.
yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
just to precise that, the for the essay, you can have the maximum number is not defined. You can be as many people as you want, but the minimum is 2 people.
Yeah, only.
So that if you have 50 people that want to do essay, just make sure that you can get along, because working with so many people, sometimes it can be a problem. But in this case of using an SAE, one of the ways to manage it is also to just choose a few people, the president, the vice president, and maybe a third party to manage the issues of the SAE, instead of everyone having to come in to decide of simple issues. For example, when there are things like repairs to be done, you don't everybody doesn't have to be included in that. The people can know that something is being done, but the decision has to be made by at least 3 or 4 people, so that you don't have, because when you say that everyone has to agree, sometimes not everyone will agree. So the management of SA also is particular, but to make things easier, you just need to choose at least 2 or 3 people who are able to manage the daily activities of the SA. But if you are planning to do an SA, you can look for a friend you have similar objectives, like Noah has said, and then you can go ahead and invest in a rental investment. Are there other questions?
On my side, I don't have any questions. Carol, I don't know whether you said you have questions.
No more questions.
Okay.
Yes. So maybe there, I think now we are almost going to 1 hour since we started. So
Okay.
those who joined later, you can restart the video. You can watch it on YouTube. If you have questions, Diana is there to answer questions. So just a summary of what she has explained. On how you can invest in France in rental housing, and how you can do it yourself. You can benefit from taxes. You can how we can benefit from taxes in France for those who pay taxes, and also how you can buy as a group through SAE. So if you have questions, there is Diana's number on the screen. Diana, please put your number on the screen and your email. You can contact her. Those who have joined late, go to YouTube. You can get the video and check from the beginning to get more information. So thank you everyone for joining us. If you have any other subject you'd like us to treat on our channel, then don't hesitate to join us, to contact us and propose to us. We are going to find what to find a solution on how we can find somebody to intervene on such things. Carol, maybe a final word. Oh, Diana. Okay,
Yes.
Diana, you have put your contacts. Huh? Thank you.
Yes.
Carol, final word, please.
Thank you for joining us. We really hope that Kenyans will thrive out here. Don't wait to invest at home. You can invest where you are. And you can, as I said last time, you can never go wrong on property. Because even though you start now and somewhere in between, maybe you change your plans, you want to go back home, you can sell whatever you have, get back your money and go and invest elsewhere. So you can never go wrong on property. So if you can, invest as an individual, join hands with people who have like minds, and build yourself and for your future generations. So don't wait. The time is now. Usingoje kesho, and don't wait when you have a lot of money. Start with what you have.